of these.
All right, sorry if we're a tad late here. Just kind of struggling with my headphones, not throwing anybody under the bus, but Donna Lynn has severely shortened the length of the cord, so I was kind of fighting with that for a minute. But folks, we're here, and it's time for the Cherokee County Chamber of Commerce show. I'm here with the lovely Sherry Rains, and our special guest today is Dr. George Gaines. He's going to be teaching us a little bit more about the Israeli tactical training that he is hosting soon. It's great to have both of you.
Thank you so much, Tyler, for letting us come on and talk to you again today. I'm going to go over a couple quick things with the community, and then George will get into what you're here for. Of course, George is involved with the IMI Academy, the Israeli Tactical Training Academy out of, well, you've got bases in Florida.
That's right.
And they also train, of course, in Israel. So, like I said, we'll get into some of that in just a minute. But let me just talk about a few things happening in the community. I did attend a leadership luncheon at Hinton Center recently, and they are holding their third leadership shatug over there at the Hinton Center. It is a wonderful class. It's a 12-week class. If you're interested in attending this, you'll need to register with the Hinton Center. You can RSVP at 828-389-8336, or you can email Jackie, Jackie, at hintoncenter.org and sign up for this really good class. It's a very reasonable price. It's 12 weeks, and they do those every Monday evening, so it's perfectly doable if you have a full-time job. Also, Ronnie Millsap is going to be coming to the Smoky Mountain Center of Performing Arts tomorrow night, Friday night.
Wow.
He's playing Friday night, and you know that he was actually raised in this area. Stephen Phillips educated me a little bit. I'm hate fun saying that.
Ronnie's a common request around here. He's a big deal.
But he actually is a local boy, and he's going to be performing Friday night at 7:30. You can get a hold of them and get tickets for that at greatmountainmusic.com, or you can contact them at 828-524-1598. I want to do a shout out at Calaboo Cellars. They're doing a chili cook-off, so that is going to be this Saturday from 3 to 5. So if you want to go out there and check out some great chili, they're going to be doing that competition out there in the vineyard. This is the 4th annual cook-off they've done, and there'll be, of course, some nice wines and beers if you want to try some of that.
Chili and wine is such a sleeper combo. I mean, it goes together like
Really?
like chili and wine. I think it's great.
Yeah, it is good. So if you want more information, you can give Eric a call, 828-321-2006. Also, there's some specials they're running over at Ultrastar Multitainment Center. They are doing a 90s hip-hop theme night. This is going to be on Friday nights from 8 p.m. until close. You get 12 hours of bowling, and that includes your shoe rental for $12 for 2 hours of bowling. Did I say 12 hours?
You said 12 hours.
Sorry.
And I was about to say, okay, that's a tad
2
extreme.
hours of bowling for
I love-
$12 for up to 4 guests. So that's a good deal.
That is a really good deal.
And they do military discounts, student discounts, which brings it down to about $10. So that's a pretty good deal.
I love bowling, man. It's a lot of fun.
They're also doing a Valentine's Day special over there. They've got a date night package on February 14th and 15th. Be $24.95 to bowl from 4 to 10 p.m. You get 2 hours of bowling in that time frame, and they will be offering a cheese pizza, 6 wings, and 2 soft drinks. That is romantic.
Ooh.
Pizza.
Honestly, that's the dream. You know, Valentine's
seriously,
Day. I'm
pizza.
serious. I'm not kidding. You know, if I had to choose, you know, between going out for a nice dinner on Valentine's night,
Or bowling.
or
pizza.
bowling with a big pizza and hot wings, honestly, I'd take the pizza and
So
hot wings
girls,
any day.
if you're looking for a cheap date,
I will
Tyler-
take you out for hot wings and
Tyler's
pizza.
available. Just call me at the office. I'll get you his contact information. Also, on Valentine's Day, we have an evening of wine and chocolate happening over at the Cherokee County Arts Council in the Murphy Arts Center. The tickets are $10 a person. They are available at the Murphy Arts Center or the Curiosity Shop or Parsons Pub. You can pick them up early, so you'll be sure and reserve yourself a spot. But they'll be doing that from 5:30 until 7:30 on February 14th. So a real nice little thing to take your sweetie out for, and benefits will be, you know, benefiting, the proceeds will be benefiting the Arts Council. So, of course, we encourage that. A number of our restaurants are doing Valentine's Day menu, like the Chop House. If you want to take your sweetheart out for Valentine's Day, I encourage you to make a reservation now because it gets pretty full pretty quick.
I bet it does.
It does indeed. I wanted to do a little shout out also for Andrews Chamber of Commerce, who is putting on their spring festival this year again. Their spring fling will happen on April 25th. If you would like to participate, as in be a vendor, you can contact them at the Chamber of Commerce or come by our chamber, and we'd be happy to get you a vendor application so that you can apply to be a vendor. They have still some space left, so I know it seems like we're a long ways out, but this event fills up, and it was huge last year.
The sprinkling, it was a lot of fun last year. I really enjoyed my
They're gonna have a
time.
lot of live music playing on the street, and they're gonna block the streets off again. But it'd be a lot of crafters, vendors, nonprofits are welcome to apply for a space, very reasonable. So I would encourage you, if you wanna get involved in this and be a vendor, to get a hold of them now.
When are those dates again, Sherry?
The Spring Fling is gonna be on April 25th, and they've already got their Oktoberfest set up for October 10th of this coming year. And I think something's happening on the 4th of July, but I don't have confirmation on that yet. But any of these events, you can go to the Andrews Chambers website. It's, I don't even have their Chambers website. Contact the Andrews Chamber, it says, with 828-321-3584 about being involved in any of these events. Also, the Peacock Performing Arts Center, and Miss Laurel was on last week with us and talking about things that they're doing, but they're still selling tickets to the 2020 Viking River Cruise. So they're selling 200 tickets only, $100 a piece, and that's for 2 people to take the cruise on one of the Viking River ships. Pretty neat deal. The drawing for that'll be March 15th. My birthday's in March. If anybody wanted to buy me a ticket, okay with that.
So it's good
Why are you
for-
staring at me? I'm poor.
Is the cruise, is it for 2 or 1?
I believe she said it was for 2, is my
Wow.
understanding, for 2 people.
Viking, that's an upscale
That's what I
cruise.
understand. Now, I may have it wrong, and it doesn't spell it out on her, but
Wow.
I'm almost sure she said 2. Also, I had a visit, actually, for the last 2 days in a row, from Gary Chamberlain with the coalition, the North Carolina Litter Free Coalition. He is the one who is promoting the Cash for Trash program within the schools. It is a really good program. I believe Martins Creek got national notice last year for doing such a great job picking up trash. And I mean, we live in a beautiful, beautiful county, beautiful area of the country. It upsets me to drive down the road and see trash on the side of the road.
It makes me
So,
sick. Just don't
Makes
litter.
me very sick too. So I really encourage people, get a hold of Gary. He can help you put something together. He's really trying to involve the school-age children. I think it's a really good project for a lot of them. You can call Gary at 928-202-1186. I know that's a weird number, but he's from Arizona. He can't help it.
He can't help it.
You can also email him at folksvilleusa@gmail.com. So a good project to get involved with. One other quick thing, I talked with Pastor Will Posey. They are still trying to raise money for the Harshaw Chapel. The Friends of the Harshaw are taking donations. We're trying to save the roof. They did take the steeple down to try to keep it from caving in any further, but this is a historic landmark. I cannot stress enough how important it is to hang on to these landmarks. So if you're interested in contributing, you can contact Pastor Posey over at the Methodist Church. You can go to harshawchapel.home.blog and look and see what's going on there. But we also have the forums at our office if you're interested.
And I hosted a show with
Sorry.
Pastor Will recently. I believe it was last Wednesday. I can't remember the exact day, but I recommend you go check that out as well. We went over a lot in relation to the Harshaw Chapel. It's one of those things, if it's gone, we're going to miss it.
Yes,
And it's a
absolutely.
huge historic monument. So
And we are trying to get the Main Street designation. We've been selected as one of the communities that's up and running for that. That is a huge deal for people who don't know about it. And these are the type of things that have to be done for us to keep that, to get that designation and keep it. So-
yeah,
Okay, so enough of my running my mouth since I'm coughing here. Dr. George Gaines here with us today. He's going to talk to us about a little project. He's working on a program that he's working on. It's a little different vein from what you normally do. We're not going to be training people with guns this time.
No guns, no
So I'm going
guns.
to let you tell him about it. Tell him about yourself and tell him about what you got going on here.
Well, we put together a half-day program. We call it a seminar, and it's titled Israeli Tactical Training for Houses of Worship. Prevention is everything. And this is something we've been thinking about doing for some time, but I guess the recent shooting out in Texas at the Church of Christ.
And I want you to, if you can elaborate a little bit, because what you told me the other day interested me a lot about how the prevention part of that, because I thought they reacted quite well, but you made me think about it a little differently.
Actually, when you look at the tape, the response was not very good. It took 6 seconds to take the shooter down. And our goal, and the way we train, it should be done in less than 2 seconds. 3 people died that didn't have to die. because first of all, they should have stopped him at the door and never let him in. But the first security guard inside was fumbling with trying to draw his
Right,
weapon,
right.
and was, the guy unloaded the shotgun right into him. And then the second guy,
terrible.
he took out, and it was the third who finally had a clean shot and took it and was successful. I mean, it was a good shot. Some people say it was a lucky shot.
I'll take luck if that's all there
If
is.
that's all there is, I would take it, but they got the job done.
Well, the thing that interested me, and we had this conversation, as I said the other day, to me, the church thing makes it hard to me. You welcome people in a church, and you kind of made me think about that a little bit, about how do you said stopped him from coming in. So example of how you stop someone that you're suspicious of, or what's the protocol for that?
Well, the training that we provide comes straight from Israel. And in Israel, they have the same kind of problem, only it's magnified, because they have to protect the shrines, the sacred sites in Jerusalem and other places in Israel.
Right.
They have many synagogues and churches.
True.
Israel is not an all-Jewish country. There are people of many religions in Israel.
And very many holy sites there, you're
Very
right.
many holy sites. There are a large number of mosques, Christian churches of various denominations. And so in Israel, they provide security for all of these houses of worship. And they're very good at what they do. And of course, they have a long history of experience in learning how to protect
So I'm guessing in
themselves.
Israel, someone would not have been able to walk in and unload a gun for 6 seconds. It would have been shut
He
down.
would have never got through the front door. Would have never gotten through the front door. So the question is, well, how do you stop somebody? How do you know if somebody's a threat? Well, one of the things we're going to accomplish in the seminar, and it's 5 hours of instruction, is we're going to go through some of the protocols that the Israelis use for detecting hostile people or potential threats. And one, of course, is, you have to look for something that's out of the ordinary. Something about the person that doesn't look right or seem right, or the way they behave. Perhaps they're fumbling with something in their pocket, or it's a warm day and they have a long coat
Right.
on, which was the case in Texas.
Common sense in a lot of things, too.
Yeah, and so the next step, of course, is once you identify the suspicious indicator, and one would be if you don't know the person, okay? And they have a lot of tourists that come into these
Right.
in Israel, so there are a lot of people who are coming into the synagogue or the church or the mosque that the greeters don't recognize. So they need to approach the stranger in a welcoming manner, whether he's suspicious or not. But particularly if he's suspicious or behaves in a suspicious manner, the next thing would be questions, and the way you ask questions of the person. When did you arrive in Jerusalem? When did you arrive in Murphy? When did you arrive in Hawaii?
Well, because someone who's there to do something bad does not want your interest.
They don't want to talk.
Somebody who's truly a visitor does want your
That's right.
interest.
The
They welcome it.
visitor is open. Oh, yeah, I'm
Right.
from,
Yeah.
down in Gainesville.
Absolutely.
I'm from somewhere else, and we're here visiting. And, oh, who are you visiting? My cousin lives here. He owns the Burger King or
Right,
whatever.
right.
So you begin a dialogue that makes them feel welcome, and
Or unwelcome,
also
possibly.
assures you that this is a safe person.
Right.
But the person who is there to do harm does not want to talk, does not want to make eye contact, because they're there on a mission. Their mission is to get in and do as much harm as they possibly can. So you put them on the defensive. And again, if it's a visitor who comes with a good intention, that intention will be revealed right away.
So the person who's doing the greeting, like, let's say that I'm the suspicious character, and you're greeting me. The person doing the greeting needs to be trained to deal with me
Yes.
in case I do react in a,
Yes.
if I
Yes.
act out, I decide, okay, well, this guy's gonna
That's right.
put me in a corner, I'm gonna have to do something.
That's right. The whole seminar is devoted to prevention. And there are two other things that we have to recognize, and one is how do you respond once the threat is revealed? And
And obviously,
that-
I don't want you to give all your secrets
no,
away.
it's not, no,
I'm just-
there has to be training.
Yes.
And, we can do a pretty good job of preparing a congregation or the security team for identifying suspicious indicators, for asking questions that would reveal hostile intentions, and in doing it in such a way that is perceived as being welcoming or threatening if it's a
Depending on
hostile.
their intent, right.
So we can cover that in the time that we have and cover it in depth so that people leave our seminar knowing that they feel comfortable about this. They would know how to do this.
How to handle the
Right.
situation.
Now,
So, go
if-
ahead, sorry.
If the person pulls a gun or a shotgun on the greeters, that's a whole nother case. We
Well,
can't
that's where
deal
I'm
with that.
going. That's where I was gonna go next, though. So you're offering this seminar to teach churches and other
Right.
religious places about prevention. But let's just say one of the churches that comes wants more training, can you offer them, are you gonna be doing another class that maybe perhaps some training would be involved for
We do.
a set of people for their congregation?
You bet. We've already had two seminars up in this area, one back in October
Both
of
very well
2019.
attended, I
Both
believe.
well attended, one in December. We had some outstanding performances. In fact, everybody who took that 3-day training, I would be confident as them heading up a security team at their church. There's no doubt they would know what to do because they're trained in how to respond to a threat.
So now, George, there are people that are gonna say 3 days, you can train somebody in 3 days to how to respond to a threat.
We can get pretty close to it. There's
Well, I've had feedback from people who've been to the class. I believe you, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking devil's advocate. Can you actually train somebody in 3 days?
we can get them pretty close. In fact, the next 2 days following this seminar, this is on a Friday afternoon. On Saturday and Sunday, we have a 2-day advanced training class.
So you offer continued training
This
to get
is
someone who wants to
only for the
continue.
people who attended our first two seminars.
Very good.
They've gone through 3 days. Now they're going to go through 2 days of advanced tactical drills. So I would say if somebody went through the 3-day, that would be great. If they went on and took the 2-day on top of that, that would be even better.
Right.
And the important thing is it's not just to go through the seminar and be trained. You have to practice. You have to practice
Right.
what you've learned.
Just like
Because-
shooting a gun, you better be out
That's
there
right.
practicing with that
That's
gun.
right. I mean, you go to baseball camp or football camp and you learn how to throw the football, you say you work it out and you're really good at it. Well,
Right.
if you don't do anything for another 6 or 8 months, well, you're gonna
You're
lose.
gonna lose it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
muscle memory and you have to
Absolutely,
practice it,
absolutely.
so.
So if you have a group out there and they're interested in coming to this seminar, how do they get in contact with you?
Okay, I've got the information right here.
Okay?
Can I put it up?
Yes, you absolutely can. Here, I'll go ahead and station it for you.
And of
This
course,
is-
if you've missed anything while we've talked today and
Yeah.
rambled along, you can contact me at the Chamber of Commerce, and that's 828-837-2242, or email info@CherokeeCountyChamber.com. We'll try to answer any questions you may have or give you, I absolutely forward Dr. Gaines's information to you.
As you can see, it's not gonna break your budget.
No, it's very
Uh,
reasonable.
It's $25. We've got an auditorium that will hold at least 500-600 people.
Exactly.
We don't know.
And
the-
you can go online and do this as well through PayPal. So made it
Yep.
very simple this time to pre-register.
Yep,
And you've still got some seating left that you can sell out. You're not sold out yet at this time.
no,
so you've got
I don't,
some
I don't
space.
expect to sell the auditorium out, but we are gonna, somebody shows up at the door, it's gonna be $35
There you go.
instead of 25. And that's because we wanna encourage people to register, so we know
pre-register.
how many people are coming, so we know how many Coca-Colas and how
And
many
so
cookies
forth.
to buy.
So now tell them this is going to be at Brasstown Community Center
Yes.
again.
Brasstown Community Center, which is located on Setawig Road in Brasstown. It's just across the street from the Brasstown Post Office.
It's hard to miss it.
a lot of
miss it.
parking there, and I hope that we stress their parking to the limit. We think that we may end up with maybe 100 people or more.
That would be good. That would be
It would
nice.
be great.
And of course,
We-
it's not limited to Cherokee County. If
No.
you're outside the county, or if you're within our broadcast audience and you're hearing this, you're welcome to attend this class.
I believe we have about 35 signed up right now, already paid, and only 3 or 4 are from Cherokee County.
Really?
They're all from Hiwassee and Towns County, Union County,
I'm not real surprised
and
by that.
Fannin County.
So we
Now
hope
there,
that this
yeah.
will help get the message out over here.
Yeah,
a
we
little
even have
better.
a group coming over from Chattanooga.
Oh, that's
So,
nice.
I don't know how they found out about it, but we've basically been sending it out through email to different
And we've
groups.
had it on the radio a little bit, so we've
Yep,
talked
we've
about it
been
a
on the
little bit.
radio,
So now
so
this
word
is
gets
taking
out.
place on what day again?
It's on February 28th,
Okay.
which is not the last day of February.
Yeah,
This
we've
year,
got
we have the
29
29
days.
days, get the extra day, so we
I
catch
didn't
up.
even think about that because I was putting in an order today into our computer system, and I played it from the 1st of February to the end of February, and it defaulted to February 29th. And it didn't even occur to me.
But going back to the additional training that we offer, we hope that people who attend the seminar will realize how serious it is that you have training. If you say, well, I've got a concealed carry license, and I had to shoot for that. I said, when did you get that? Oh, a couple years ago. And how many times have you been practicing since then? Well, I know what to do. No, you don't know what to do. You absolutely don't know what to do. And they're
Well,
too.
muscle memory, the point you made with muscle memory, and that's in a lot of things we do in life that we
Right.
become good at, whether it's training or whatever we may do, it's because of repetition of doing it over
That's
and
right.
over again.
And even if people say, well, I don't want to ever carry, I don't want to carry a firearm, I'm afraid of guns or whatever, you still need to know how to defend yourself. And part of our training is physical with Krav Maga, which is
See, I want to
the,
do that, and then I want to beat up Tyler.
I told you she'd
That's
say
my
that. I
goal.
told you, didn't I call it? I called it before she got
That's my
here.
goal.
And he can attest to that.
Krav Maga is easy to learn, like
No, but
anything
it's
else.
truly an important skill set. Even you know,
It is.
as a woman, if you're alone, you're walking in the dark, it would be handy to know some of this
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, if you don't have a knife or a gun on you to defend yourself,
Right.
what do you do if somebody comes at you with their fists? What do you do if they come at you with a knife?
Right.
What if they stick a gun in your face? Krav Maga teaches you how to disarm an attacker.
And react without
And react
panic.
with your bare hands and knees, elbows, and feet. So it's not something, it's not a martial art.
Right.
It really is the dirtiest form of street fighting that you can imagine. And so we teach that in the seminar. We get people, like, you have to practice it,
So
but
you
it's
taught your
easy to
wife
practice.
this. Does your wife know how to do this?
She knows
Is
a
that
little
why
bit.
you toe the line? There
I
you go.
do, yeah, she knows how to handle
Well,
things.
it's unfortunate that we are living in a time really that we have to worry that if we're sitting in church that some crazy person could come in and shoot us in the back of the head, and I hate to even think about that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I had been in one of these churches where this has happened, the only thing I would be thinking is, why didn't we prepare?
Right. Well, everybody doesn't have to have a gun,
Well, that's my point. If I don't want to be the person carrying the gun, as
But-
long as someone in the church is able to
but you ought to know
recognize,
Krav.
identify, and prevent.
You ought to know Krav Maga, because if they had detected this guy, which they did, they detected him at the door, and the guys had guns who were at the door. But instead of, they should have confronted him in such a way, let's say he pulled the shotgun there, they could easily disarm him with defensive Krav Maga and take the gun away. Easy. But you
shame.
gotta know what to do. You gotta be trained to react.
And as bad as that one was, it was better than some of these other shootings that have taken place where absolutely nobody knew how to do anything.
Oh, right.
You know, that the shooter
Yeah,
wasn't even taken down till he'd left the church or
You're
whatever.
just down,
So-
hiding behind your pew, praying to the good Lord that he thinks you're dead already, and
or it's my time. But yeah, I think this is a good opportunity. I hope you get good participation. Again, if you would like to participate in this, you can call George at 404-918-7098, or of course you can go online and sign in and do it through PayPal at wgeorgegaines@gmail. Is that correct?
Yes, you can
So-
send me $25 and
Right.
make sure you include your name and we'd like to get your phone number, so if something happened, we could get in touch, with you. So,
Now, is
Please do.
Mr. Gary going to be teaching this class?
I'm Gary.
He's a very
is
interesting
coming up.
guy.
He's an Israeli citizen as well as a U.S. citizen. And Chaim is 61 years old.
He
and
doesn't look it,
He doesn't. He looks about 40, 45.
if that, yeah.
And he's in great shape, and his whole career has been spent in security.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy.
And his bio is amazing. He was an air marshal for El Al Airlines. He set up, is in charge of security for most all of the Israeli embassies around the world, and they're extremely well secured. He does training in Ecuador and Mexico for those presidents in those two countries.
So what we're trying to assure you is that the folks that are going to be teaching this class are highly qualified. And again, thank you so much for coming and talking to us today. And if you want more information on Dr. Gaines, you can check him out at our website. You can go to CherokeeCountyChamber.com, go to our directory listing, and he's listed there, and you can research him, cyber stalk him a little bit if you want to. But I'm
Sure.
sure you're happy to answer any questions if
Be
folks want to
happy-
call.
Happy to answer any question. I've had a lot of calls from
Good.
folks, and I don't mind
Good.
taking them because I encourage them to come, to bring as many people as possible. We want people to be well-educated. And
That's the most important thing. If
That's
you
right.
don't want to be one of the defenders of the church, you can at least be educated
Yeah.
and know how to identify, so.
We can't
support.
We can't train you in Krav Maga. We can't train you in shooting in this seminar. It's not possible. But we can spend a good 5-6 hours of good, hard training on prevention, detection of the threat, and how to handle it. So I think that's,
I think it's a
Worth
great
the
class.
price of
It's a
admission.
great class. But did you have any last-minute words?
Just that we encourage you to go back and review a lot of what's been discussed today. We've had a lot of discussion with Dr. Gaines, so it's easy to forget some of the exciting events that we mentioned previously. The Calaboo Cellars Chili Cook-Off from 3 to 5, the Andrews Spring Fling coming up, Ronnie Millsap Live, that's a big one, and that class that Sherry mentioned at the Hinton Center.
Yes, the leadership class. One other thing, we're doing our golf tournament in May, May the 6th, which is a Wednesday. And this is our 12th annual Golf Classic, and it's going to be at Mountain Harbor Golf Course. If you're interested in playing, it's going to be 4-person teams. We encourage you to register as soon as possible. We're going to start that registration. Well, you can register technically now, but it'll be open registration in February. So call me at the chamber if you have questions.
Alrighty, sounds like a plan. Dr. Gaines, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for
Sherry,
having
a
me.
pleasure as always. We'll see you next week, and it's about time for the Clay Show, so stay tuned.